He's Bob Shrum, a veteran of several Democratic presidential campaigns, attorney and activist Areva Martin, the author of the book Make It Rain, out now, and KFI Radio's always colorful host, Tim Conway Jr. Ding dong!
Ding dong with you. Let's go.
Let's go. So we just had the mayor on. What do you think? How do you do, Areva?
I think he did an outstanding job. He's obviously very poised. He's very comfortable with these kinds of interviews. He's thought a lot about the question he's always getting, which is, are you running for president? And I think he answered it well. He pivoted to national topics, health care, homelessness that's impacting Americans all over the country, and took the conversation away from what we here in California, and particularly LA County, are dealing with, which is this really uptick in homelessness. So,
but he's unflappable.
Yes.
I mean, you put some tough questions to him about homelessness, traffic. He's totally unflappable. And as I look at him as a potential presidential candidate, I'd say he's going to handle himself very well if he does this.
Well, look, Eric Garcetti, his dad gave him a lot of confidence. Trump beat the Clinton machine, the Bush machine, and the Obamas, all of them. And he thinks that he's going to beat the Trump organization because he got a lot of confidence from Gil Garcetti, his dad. I didn't. I pitched a no-hitter when I was in 6th grade. I went home and told my dad I pitched a no-hitter, and he sat me down and he said, "You're not that good."
Well, despite all of the positive things about Garcetti, let's not lose sight of the fact that there's been no mayor in the history of the country that has successfully, run and become president.
Tim, how big of an issue, though, is Skid Row and the homelessness crisis in this city? I mean, couldn't the ad be images of Skid Row and saying, do we want your city to look like this city?
Well, absolutely. I mean, look, the homeless problem is huge, and the $2.7 million they spent on 45 beds with a $700,000 deck is going to come back to bite him. This misuse of money, even though I personally like the guy, we had sort of like the same upbringing, the misuse of that cash and constantly raising money for homelessness and then finding no areas of Los Angeles to put these buildings. And they don't want them in Koreatown, they don't want them on the west side, nobody wants them.
The president was asked this week who he would most want to run against, and this is what he said to CBS News.
Joe Biden says he'll make a decision by January.
Well,
Tough
I dream about Biden. That's a dream. Look, Joe Biden ran 3 times. He never got more than 1%. And President Obama took him out of the garbage heap, and everybody was shocked that he did.
Bob?
Well, first, he ought to be careful what he wishes for.
Yeah.
By the way, the key, and this goes back to Garcetti, too, and goes to one of the questions you asked. If he runs, he's going to have to spend a ton of time in Iowa. He's going to have to spend a ton of time in New Hampshire, because those are the places where people first get tested. And if you don't get your ticket punched there, you're not going to make it beyond there. And that means the LA Times will keep saying, how many days are you out of the city and how much is this stuff costing?
So around the horn, who do you think would be the strongest Democratic presidential candidate to run against Donald Trump? Tim?
The strongest one, I think, would be Bernie Sanders. He's had a tremendous amount of support. I even supported him, and I've never really voted for anybody in that party.
My choices are a Biden-Harris ticket, 1 or 2. You can flip it either way.
It's going to be Joe Biden, or it's going to be someone from this new generation. And I'm sorry, I can't tell you how to sort that out. 15 people on a debate stage. It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be great. It's the exact opposite of what happened.
No coordination this time around.
Up next, what's up with President Trump and President Putin? Our panel is going to talk about that when we come back. And this song is maybe appropriate for this week.
What a week.
It is been back
What
in the
a
U.S.
week.
Back in the U.S., back in the USSR.
From Russia with love.
From Russia with Love, this week we've seen several dramatic covers featuring President Trump's unusually close relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Now there could be a Trump-Putin Oval Office summit. What's that about? Let's talk about that with our panel, Bob Shrum, Areva Martin, Tim Conway Jr. What is up with President Trump and President Putin?
He obviously wants to get along with him, obviously likes him in a way that everybody in the U.S. government has told him not to like him. Sat down with him one-on-one. And we ended up yesterday with the extraordinary moment when Andrea Mitchell told Dan Coates, looking down at her Twitter.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. By the way, there's going to be a summit in November, and he was totally disbelieving.
But they've always been telling him what to do and what not to do, and it never works. He just he does whatever he wants.
Yeah, but when you're getting to nuclear war and Syria and some of these big issues, you actually need to listen to the people who know what they're talking about.
No, what disturbed me the most about the whole week was this. It's an incredible idea. When Putin suggested that 12 Americans be sent to Russia to be interrogated by Russian officials, and that somehow these Russian intelligence agents would help Special Counsel Mueller interview these 12 indicted Russian operatives. That is just outrageous.
So the question everybody has is, what is really going on? What is really going on?
I don't think we know what's really going on. That's what's so disturbing about these private meetings that they've held. We don't know what Vladimir Putin has on Donald Trump. That is yet to be revealed. We do know that our intelligence agencies have information that, is unequivocal, that Russia directed its, operatives to interfere in the 2016 election, and Donald Trump won't accept it because he thinks it delegitimizes his presidency.
Tim, you're more on the conservative side. You talk to people on the conservative side all the time on your show. Are you concerned about this?
I'm not really concerned. I think it's disingenuous for all these Republicans to get down on him and down on Russia, because they're very happy. The Republicans are very happy that he has 2 conservative Supreme Court picks.
Wow. All right, let's talk for a moment about California politics when we come back. And the question is, could California Senator Dianne Feinstein actually lose her race? Our panel has more on that. Still to come. Little Maroon 5. I know that's your favorite band, right, Bob?
Yeah. You got great music here. You said you did.
Thank you. That's great. The Issue Is available as a podcast. You can hear all of our past episodes. Just search for The Issue Is wherever you stream your podcasts. This Sunday on our sister show, Fox 11 In Depth, host Hal Eisner welcomes California State Senator Kevin De Leon, who just won a stunning endorsement from the state's Democratic Party in his race to defeat incumbent Senator Dianne Feinstein.
Seniority means nothing if you don't use your seniority to defend our values, to defend our people, to defend our beliefs in California. And that's why I think we need bold leadership in Washington.
So you're calling her a failure?
Well, what I'm saying is that we need that bold leadership in Washington. 50 years as a politician is much too long.
You can see the entire interview with Kevin De Leon on Fox 11 In Depth, hosted by Hal Eisner. That's Sunday at 9 a.m. So around the table real quick, does Kevin De Leon have a realistic shot at beating Senator Feinstein, Bob?
Very unlikely. And by the way, most Democrats in the state have never heard of the Executive Committee of the Democratic Party. And I mean, it's going to help him a little. It keeps his candidacy alive. But he's got to raise a lot of money and really somehow or other come up with a message that pushes off against her.
My answer is no.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope he wins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is that
all right?
Hope or will?
He's far left. I hope he wins by a landslide.
No. He doesn't have a chance. Dianne is still so beloved in this state.
That's all for this week, but we have a little bit more of Eric Garcetti's musical performance, and so we want to end with the mayor of Los Angeles. Take it away.
For sure. That was so fun.